So you've been noticing that you really don't have as many PTO volunteers or members as you'd like. And so you're thinking, people really aren't coming to things that are at the school. So maybe you should try meeting somewhere else, like off campus, maybe even at like a restaurant or even like a bar, because people would be interested in going out to something like that. Then you mention something to your principal and they're like, nope. Cannot meet any place where alcohol is being served. That is a full stop. That is illegal. You may not do that. But is it? So here's the thing. I don't know where this idea that PTO members can't meet at a restaurant or a bar where alcohol is being served. Because for one, I'm assuming everybody is of the legal drinking age, and I am not all that familiar with any dry counties left. There might be some somewhere in the United States or elsewhere in the world, but in the United States, the legal drinking age is 21. And so it's not like you're exactly going to be forcing drinks down anybody's throat. I regularly go to places where alcohol is served, and I don't drink because I personally prefer to have my extra calories in the form of chocolate and not wine or beer. But that is just me. But I still go, and I think it's a fabulous opportunity for you to meet off campus, and I think it's a great idea. But I'm not exactly sure where this reservation is coming from, like I said, because I've heard this more than once. So I thought it was fine time for me to kind of address it in a video and let you know my thoughts. But generally, it is not illegal. I don't know your particular local rules and regulations, but I'm guessing it is not illegal because that seems very weird. No one is going to be bringing kids. And yeah, but kids are kind of in these places usually anyway, restaurants more so than bars, right? But how I would respond to the principal really is dependent on a couple other factors. So you can kind of, if you're an independent organization, meaning do you have a separate tax ID number, like an EIN or anything like that? Do you have a separate bank account that is not tied to the school? So if you are a fully independent PTO, meaning your school is there for advice and feedback and input, but not necessarily controlling the purse strings or your access to your money, then you can kind of agree to respectfully disagree with your principal. That has happened to me before, and it's not comfortable, but it's sometimes necessary because principals can be wrong about things. They don't always understand things, and they're looking at things from the perspective of preventing something that could blow back onto the school and probably onto them. But this is one that I don't really think that would actually happen unless you are at like a very religious school that doesn't permit alcohol consumption. But I don't know of any schools that extend that prohibition to parents. Outside of maybe some schools in the Mormon faith, that would be the only place I'm trying to think of. If you are dependent, so if you are kind of not separate from the school, but kind of an extension of the school, then you're going to have to be a little more careful about how you respond to the principal. I still think they just kind of don't understand the whole point. Like principals are coming at things from a different perspective, right? So you kind of have to share why you want to do it. I definitely think more parents will come to an event at outside of the school. I shouldn't say more, different. A different kind of parent is going to come there than potentially will come to a meeting at school, at least at first. And so it can be a great way to get people out of the house. You can fashion it like a parent's night out or a mom's night out and give people just an opportunity to get out of the house without the kids and go have some adult social time. This is something we did on the following regular PTO meetings every month. That is until our kids started at the next school up where they had to be on the bus by like 6:30 or 6:35 or some really early time like that. And so we thought, we can't exactly stay out until midnight anymore. So that I kind of had to transition into ice cream time instead. Still off campus, still fun, just something a little different. But if your principal is like really dug in, I would just ask to have a conversation and say, there's nothing in our bylaws that prohibit this. Is there anything from the school district, or like ask what they're concerned about, and say that I understand you are concerned, but I want to understand your perspective on this and see if we can talk through this, because the PTO really does need to recruit more members and volunteers so that we can do more for the school. And so let's talk about it. And when you talk about it, you'll probably understand more where they're coming from and be able to kind of disarm some of their hesitancies about allowing this to happen. And you can say it's not going to be a drink fest. Like, this is not a PTO members are not going on booze cruise, but we're just like meeting somewhere off campus. I am curious to hear, where is the most unusual place your PTO has ever met? I would love to hear from you in the comments about that. I will tell you my most unusual place, and that is actually on the tree lawn of the school. Not so unusual, but we were kind of locked out of the school because there was a miscommunication. It was a summer planning meeting, and so we just like pulled out our soccer chairs and blankets and copped a squat on the lawn, and it was very enjoyable because I think it is fun to get out of the ordinary place where you're meeting. People were more relaxed because perhaps they were sprawled out on blankets, but we had a good time and everybody had a good laugh and we made it work. I totally hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.
Want even more guidance on how to be a stronger leader so you can run a better PTO or PTA? All these resources and more are waiting for you at ptoanswers.com.